Hello, this is one of the projects I am involved in. The scope is design, bill of quantity, procurement, and finally supervision of the project installation. I will not be more on the engineering aspect of this project, but more on the method of how we're able to install the luminaires on the ceiling. As you can see from this photo, this ceiling is at a minimum height or at a height of at least 6 meters from the finished floor level. And moving the picture around, you can see that it is a wide area structure. This structure is a warehouse intended to put medicines in the storage for distribution in a humanitarian project. It is at least, I think, 10,000 square meters. It is wide in area with a ceiling height of 6 meters, and installing the luminaires on this structure is not that simple. So the method that I used here is the one that I shall be discussing. From this structure, we go on with the movie, and now this is the finished, almost finished product, wherein all lamps, most of the lamps were already installed, and we tested it by putting on the lamps, and we were able to acquire a lux of at least 300, which is the minimum for any warehouse of this type. How we were able to come up with the number of lamps installed on the ceiling is the objective of this presentation. Of course, we needed first and foremost the plan, because from the plan we can come up with the correct measurements of the distances from each luminaire so that it will able to acquire the lux of at least 300, for the whole area. Lux calculation will be already engineering, so that will not be touched in this presentation. This is the CAD or AutoCAD of the warehouse, the floor plan in the architectural mode. As you can see from here, the ceiling height is at least 6 meters as planned, on that area where these dotted lines are covering. Outside of this coverage, with the distances of the ceiling height will be at least 4 meters, covering this area up to here. So the bigger challenge is actually on this area where the ceiling height is 5.9 meters. So I did a copy of this architectural plan, and from here we were able to insert the mechanical plan. These are the refrigerating equipments, because of course this is storage for medicine, so it needs to be cooled off. It needs to be cooled. The challenge is to, or the objective is to come up with the correct measurements from each luminaire and distributed equally or at least properly so that we are able to acquire the lux of 300 in the whole structure. we will present the I will present no from this floor plan the drawing of the air sacs or refrigeration sacs, because this is a design of mechanical wherein we will be using the air sac, what we call it an air sac, or ducting system they call it. So these are the ducting system, and it will also be installed in the ceiling. And then again, we will also include from the plan the storage racks. So from this mechanical plan and the positioning plan of the storage racks, as you can see, I need to come up with a design wherein the lamps will be situated and it will not run in conflict, or be uh, it will not run in conflict with the air sacs or the ducting, and also not in it will not be an obstruction to the uh, these rocks. No obstruction should occur when the lamps are installed, meaning it has to be located in free spaces from this floor plan. The challenge is to situate, to install the lamps in between spaces, but all in the same time able to come up with a lux of 300, at the same time equally spacing it from the empty spaces of this floor of the ceiling. No? So from calculation, I was able to come up, remove first this the equipments. From calculation, I was able to come up with this positioning. These blue drawings are the lamps in the correct position in a way that it will not be an obstruction to the ducting and the rocks, storage rocks. So these are the dimensions from each lamp. These are calculated dimensions, and how it was calculated will not be discussed here, but only to show you that these are the distances of the lamps from each other. No? If we insert again the ducting and the rocks, you will see the equal spacing in a way that it will not be obstructing the position of the ducts and the rocks. See, you can see from here that the ducts are all are spaced in a way that the lamps are fitted on these empty spaces, and at the same time there is no obstruction. If we add the other dimensions to make it clear for installation, there you can see equal spacing, uh, spacing, not necessarily equal, but adjusted spacing wherein it will not be an obstruction to the ducting. See? From this lamp to the edge of this ducting, we have this measurement. And again, to the other side, opposite side, the dimension is this one. It is not the same because these lamps are positioned in a way that it has to come up with the required lux of 300. Moving it in a different location, the lux will not be able to acquire the required lux. So these are computed or calculated distances just to acquire the required lux. There is another drawing here presenting how the illumination is acquired. See, these dotted lines are the illumination, and if you will notice, the area are well illuminated, and obstruction of the light is avoided. No? So now we have the dimensions. The challenge now is for the installation of these lamps. It's easier to make the measurements of the distances, but the challenge here is how they are installed in the ceiling. Because if you look at it, at a height of 6 meters, you need to pinpoint the exact location of the next lamp from the other lamp. Normally, it's easier if you can you can easily reach out to the ceiling. Even if you use a platform, it will not be very easy to measure from this distance to that distance because your measuring tape for sure cannot be totally stretched out from this point to this point. So a method I came up with a method on how to easily do it or how we can acquire with the correct measurements. The method is not that complex, but we started these measurements by putting the points where the lamps will be installed on the flooring. See, it is measured from the flooring. Strange, no? We need to install it on the ceiling, but we make the measurements on the flooring. So that is the marker which represents the lamp, the location of the lamp. And how we will reflect that measurement to the ceiling. So they are measuring the distances from each ceiling, from each luminaire. To reflect those measurements, we came up with this method. So this platform has one person on top and the other person below. Using a plumb bob, and aligning it correctly, carefully on the position from the flooring, you reflect that measurement to the ceiling. And now you have a reflected measurement from the flooring to the ceiling, so that you can mark the ceiling where the luminaire shall be installed. Also here, one of my team member holds on to the plumb bob and directly reflects that measurement to the ceiling. After we were able to pinpoint the location, then installation is now that easy, no? Because we were able to reflect the points from the flooring to the ceiling. We mirror it. I I call this method mirroring, because you make a reflection from the flooring and reflect it to the ceiling. So we have a very close accuracy to the calculation of the distances from luminaire to luminaire. No? Interesting. Huh? I came up with this method when I saw the height of this storage, and there is no other way that we can be able to come up with a correct distancing, but to mirror it from the flooring to the ceiling. There. So that finishes my demonstration or presentation. So again, it's time to invite you to my to invite you to so that you can recommend me. No, you can recommend me to any of your projects, or to anyone who is going to have a project, to recommend me in electrical engineering services. As an electrical engineering profession, by profession, these are my services that I can offer. So I would like you to recommend me, or I recommend myself, to any of your projects, or to anyone who is needing electrical engineering services. And again, I also want to invite you to my YouTube channels. One is this one with my name on it. I would like to invite you to subscribe to this channel, and also to the other channel that I also created, no? So these are two channels I am inviting you to subscribe, huh? And thank you for watching this presentation. There will be another one, no? Thank you, and please subscribe to my channels. Bye bye.